faggot satch.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Happy Thursday already. We're just breezing right through the week. Hope you're having a great week so far. We're going to talk about the stock markets today. Before we get to that, remember June 9th, we're doing a class for our customers. If you want to join us and you're not a customer of Jazz Wealth, it'll be $65. Remember, we're trying to buy a few extra things around the office here, but also it's that time of year, the summertime, we like to support music's marching arts. So if you're a fan of drum corps, DCI, or just your local marching band, we're trying to help a few kids get off to a couple different drum corps there. So I might make a video of that as well, but that's kind of what we're doing there. I've got to charge you something, so it's fair for our customers, but I do want to make it for a good cause. So that's what we're going to do there. Remember, if you do come to that budgeting class, we're also going to give you Nest Egg. So Nest Egg will be lifetime access for you there. And that'll be it. This is not a motivational class. I'm going to keep saying it. This is for people that specifically want to know what to do with their budget, how it should work. No questions asked, just step by step exactly what you need to do. So we will do that. Be sure to check out the events portion of our website. It's up on the menu there. Also, you could check out the performance of our portfolios if you have a moment and are interested. So with that in mind, let's go over to the markets today. Interesting day, right? No. Not at all. The markets today were not very interesting, actually. It was a really slow news day. And you know how you can tell when it's a slow news day? If you watch any of the financial media channels and they're playing pre-made documentaries or pre-made news sort of clips that they put together, then that's how you know they've got nothing else to talk about. So they make all of these clips, they keep them off on the sidelines, and on slow news days, they put them out there. Well, today, if you watch CNBC, they were focused on Airbnb. They had a whole thing on how Airbnb was, you know, like people were like using the system, and they did a whole deal. It was like 10 minutes long that they aired this during the day. They never do that unless it's a slow news day. And on Bloomberg, they were focused on something in Italy. I couldn't pay attention. It was way too boring. But very slow news day. Really, the day started with President Trump saying, deals off, not going to meet with Mr. Leader Kim Jong-un of North Korea. He wrote a letter. They put the letter out online. You could read the letter or whatever. Basically said, no deal. You changed your tone. We are out. We'll see what we can do in the future. The markets initially started lower. In fact, if I go over to the Dow and show you on the screen here, I'll try to zoom in a little bit because this is... yeah, there you go. You can see over here the move was initially lower on the day. This one blip on the far right represents one day. We're actually going to do classes on these coming up soon, so if you have no idea what you're looking at, we'll be able to help you out with that. Anyways, the Dow was initially down over 200 points. It was sort of a weak day from the start. Same with the S&P, but for 2 days in a row now, in the afternoon, remember, you don't short a boring market. So if you know what shorting is, you never short a dull market. That's the actual saying. And for 2 days in a row now, sort of light on the news, today worse than yesterday, and the market started creeping higher little by little, just working it off, working it off. In fact, if I go to a 5-minute time period, look what happened. This was this morning here. Initially, the news came out, oh, no, we're not going to meet with North Korea. Are we going to fight again? Is this going to be a big deal? And then all of a sudden, probably not a big deal. No big deal. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And it rallied back all day. Very slow, nothing quick there. And so what you have now is a stock market that's holding at the highs, recent highs, not the all-time highs, but holding at the highs. So the Dow closed only lower by 76, the S&P was down only 5, and the Nasdaq 100 was basically flat. It closed 1 point in the red. I'll take that. That's a great day, I think, for considering how far down we were to start the day. Now, some of the focus today was on financials. So financials never really helped us out today. In fact, they closed just down a little bit, about 0.75%. Why didn't they help us out? And specifically, this is sort of the lesson of the day here. If you look at the financial sector, the majority of the financial sector is made up of the biggest stocks, or the biggest banks out there. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan's, it includes your American Express and Visa, things like that. Well, President Trump signed the rollback of the regulations today, but that really applied to the smaller banks. And so what happened is most of the financial sector is controlled by the bigger banks. Well, if the smaller banks are able to compete a little bit more, that's a little bit negative for the big banks. So when you look at the sector, you might have thought, oh, banks should be up today because of less regulations. Some of the regional banks did well today, but most of the sector is focused, and actually most of the S&P is weighted by the larger banks that this rule didn't really apply to. So because of that, the banks were a little bit lower on the day, and that did hold us back. That held the stock market back just a little bit. If you've been following me for a while, you know banks and tech. That's all that leads the S&P higher. You really can't have a nice rally without banks and tech rallying along with it. Another thing that came up in the news was the price of oil today. I don't think they would have talked about this today unless there was something else to talk about. So because it was a slow news day, they focused a little more on this. Oil pulled back 1.6%. Some comments out of the OPEC participants that they may bump up their production to try to hold the price of oil in this sweet spot. They like it between here and 80. And so they were making comments about that. Not really a big deal. Bottom line is, oil's had a nice run. Would be totally normal for oil to pull back. I have no issues with that at all. Let's go over to the S&P 500 here. Taking a look at your biggest leaders. You got Kohl's. Retail stocks did mostly okay today. Kohl's did well. You had limited brands. This is Victoria's Secret on the charts there. A little bit of a recovery. You know, the stock's been falling pretty aggressively there over the year. But today, a little bit of a rally. Earnings were pretty good. What'd they say? They beat earnings. They beat on income. Their net income, very important. They beat on net income. And that's basically it. They're trying to kind of wash out. They made too much of the pink labeled brands, like Victoria's Secret Pink. So they have too much of that product. They're still working their way through it. That's why you can see that sort of mess there. Williams-Sonoma. Oh, no, that's Waste Management. Williams-Sonoma, if you follow them, initially great move to the day, over 13%, popped all the way up to these highs here. The biggest thing with that today is they said that not only were their in-store sales good, but now their online sales account for 54% of their total sales. And this day and age, people like to see the retail companies competing online. Brick and mortar stores can kind of miss their earnings a little bit. They can underperform. People like to see that you're competing online, and you know, because you're competing against Amazon, things like that. So Williams-Sonoma initially did well. It did sell off quite a bit at the end of the day. I'm not sure if there was any new news there, but that's not good if you see that. Now, in addition, because of good sort of moves like this to start the day, you had Gap higher, Foot Locker was higher, Under Armour was higher by 2%. That's pretty much it. AutoZone was higher by 2%. Nordstrom got another 2%. So not bad. You had a lot of retailers participating. And Lowe's, by the way, Lowe's continuing. That's the chart of Lowe's doing really well there over the last few days. So not bad there. Looking on the downside there, you had Whirlpool. Whirlpool, public company, selling off pretty aggressively. Best Buy getting hit pretty hard. That was the sort of the immediate headline, retail headline that everybody focused on today. They had strong sales in stores, right? But this is, again, if you look at the earnings report or you're even interested in this, they had strong sales in store. However, online suffered. So all the investors like to see online doing well. Williams-Sonoma did well online and okay in the stores. Best Buy did great in stores. Nobody cares because online suffered, and so Best Buy got hit. That's 6.5% today. That's a bit weak there. So not bad. Other than that, in the S&P, some of your other weak performers, you had Apache down, Schlumberger. These are all in the oil and energy space. Wells Fargo down 2.69%. Good for them. Hope they go to zero. What else? ExxonMobil down 2% today. A lot of 2% losers in the energy space as we're kind of just digging around here. A lot of secondary offerings coming up. We have some adjustments to make in the portfolio. Pandora offering, I think Campbell Soup offering. Earnings just coming out while we're looking at this. Zoe's Kitchen. Looks like Zoe's Kitchen enjoying a nice, down now, 13% on Zoe's Kitchen. So it closed at $14.47. It's sitting around $11.50. Oh, wow, that's a big hit there. So Zoe's is currently trading after hours all the way down at $11.50, which is $14.50. That's a bad move right there. That one's likely going to be lower tomorrow. All right, did we cover everything for you? I believe so. Gold was up 1% today. Nice move. The Russell 2000 pushing back towards the highs. That's your sort of breakout index right there. Very strong. Other than that, not much to say. Bonds were a little higher on the day, following through from yesterday. But slow news day, so we're going to keep this sort of wrap this up here. If you're a customer of ours, tonight, Nest Egg, we're going to go over Nest Egg, the retirement goals portion of Nest Egg. It won't be very long, maybe 10 minutes, so we won't ask you to take a lot of your time. But if you have your retirement goals set in Nest Egg and you're just kind of curious how it all works, I want to go through and show you how you can make some adjustments so you get a more accurate number as far as how on track you are with your retirement savings. That's it. I really appreciate it, guys. June 9th, if you want to be a part of that class, be sure to check it out. Also helping a good cause. I appreciate everybody watching. If you have any questions or need help with anything, you know where to find me. Dustin@jazzwealth.com. Talk to you guys later.